Hello! I am very excited to be bringing you the intro video for a new series of videos. Woohoo! Or at least the first one anyway. I'm not sure how intro-y it's going to end up being, but I will attempt to give it a kind of intro-y feel before I get into the meat of the first element of this new series. I'm being super mysterious, so I'm just gonna go straight in and explain what's going on. So, this new series is gonna be called Julianne versus TBR. I posted a blog post on my lifestyle blog a while back about slow decluttering, as I call it. It's kind of what I'm calling this process that I'm undergoing of trying to mindfully, carefully, and without waste, as much as I can, have less stuff in my possession in my life. And the reason I put emphasis on without waste is because I think the problem with a lot of decluttering techniques is that they believe in the concept of away, as in throwing stuff away, giving stuff away, donating stuff away. And the fact is there is no away. Away is a place. Away is, in the best case scenario, going to be another person who will want this item, cherish this item, have a lovely time with this item. Away could go to a complete stranger. That's fine. However, the reality is that a lot of the time away means into landfill or the incinerator. And that's not something I'm comfortable with. I know from when I used to volunteer at a charity shop that a lot of the stock that gets donated from well-meaning people who think that they are doing a good thing by decluttering and giving stuff to a charity shop, a lot of it doesn't end up being sold. A lot of it doesn't even make it out onto the shop floor. We get bags of clothes that were just not as good as a lot of the other clothes we had, because we had so many donations coming in, and so they go to recycling, which sounds good on the surface, but the reality is I've since learned that they are basically being shipped to India, to Africa, where they are having a negative impact on the local economy, where people are essentially being paid a pittance to wade through all this stuff and find fabrics that can be used for other purposes, and a lot of it still ends up getting dumped in landfill. And it's not great. It's not great. And even books. I will hold up my hands and say that I put books in recycling, and okay, paper recycling is a lot better than clothes recycling. A lot more paper recycling is actually recycled, but it's still not great, you know, to be putting all these books into the recycling. And it wasn't just Dan Brown's. It wasn't just Dan Brown's, it was anything that didn't sell because it didn't happen to meet its ideal audience in the people who came into our shop. And I pretty much ran the book section in that shop by myself. I made all the decisions about what stuff got moved on after what period of time, and you know, when there were books on display that I really liked myself, I would try to keep them around for longer. If there were books that I thought had more potential, I would try to keep them around for longer. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't sell, it's going in the recycling. And so yeah, that is the grim reality when it comes to decluttering. If your stuff can't be truly recycled, which a lot of stuff actually can't, it will end up in a big hole in the ground for millions of years, you know, at least thousands. It takes thousands, doesn't it, for like plastic bags and stuff to degrade. So yeah, that's the truth of it, and I am not comfortable with just decluttering and not having putting any thought into where it goes after it leaves me. Now, this is no judgment on people who haven't thought about this stuff before, because I think the decluttering is a very positive process for a lot of people. It can help them be more mindful about acquisition, which is half the battle. You know, thinking next time you go to acquire something new, whether it really deserves that place in your life, in your world, in your space. That's really important. That is half the battle, but it's only half the battle. It's what happens to that stuff next is something that preoccupies me quite a lot, as someone who is increasingly concerned with climate change and pollution and the state of the world that we are going to will basically inhabit, you know. I am in my early 30s, I will be around, I will see the dramatic changes that humans are going to wreak on this planet, and it's not going to be good. And also just, I am someone who gets very attached to objects. Not that I value them more than people, but I am someone who appreciates beautiful things, useful things, and so when I decide that I don't want something in my space anymore, I want to try and move on to somewhere where it'll be useful. So I frequently give my books away to friends, to book swaps, to charity. I want to look into donating YA books and children's books to schools, etc. You know, I try to be careful about what I do with things. However, at the same time, I have still been acquiring a lot of books. And because this is my booktube channel, essentially, the main thing I want to talk about is books. So, as I've mentioned on numerous occasions, if you're regular here, only 2 of the squares behind me, and this is 4x4, are full of books that I have already read. Now this used to just be 1 and like 2 left over that I moved around different squares depending on space. I am now quite pleased to say that I have got it up to 2. However, that means the remaining bookshelves are mostly full of fiction books that I haven't read yet. There are 2 squares that one is full of cookbooks and one is full of craft books. There are a couple of fiction books thrown in, I think, in most cases. It's not completely sorted out. And also, I probably don't need as many craft and cookbooks as I currently have. But yeah, for the most part, it is fiction books that I haven't read yet. And that doesn't make me happy. I wouldn't go so far as to say that it makes me feel anxious, because I think having a certain amount of unread books is actually quite comforting, because I know that I always have all this entertainment here, and I love books as objects, and I'm certainly not about to go and do a big declutter and get rid of all of them. I mean, that's not the point of slow decluttering. So yeah, I love having this many books. It's brilliant. However, I also have almost this many books at my parents' house as well, because when I moved out, I only took so many with them. And when I first moved in, I thought I was going to keep these shelves not that cluttered, that I was going to have quite a lot of space. I used to have plants on these shelves. I used to have plants and Funko Pops. And now my Funko Pops are like piled over on the TV stand because there's no space for them here. And all my plants are on the windowsill because there's no space for them here. Even the ones that don't particularly like being on the windowsill. I have too many unread books. To cut this long story short. And I really, really want to make a proper effort at increasing my ratio of books read to books I haven't read on my shelves. And I mean, this is going to be difficult because every month, as I have piled up all the books that I've read, I go through them and I decide which ones to keep and which ones to give away. And obviously, because I'm giving books away, that means it's more effort for me to increase my ratio. So yeah, it's going to take a long time. It's not going to be easy, but I am determined, and I have learned a lot from other slow decluttering projects. So at this point, I've pretty much moved out all of the clothes that I don't love from my wardrobe and given them away at clothes swaps to other people. In the early days, I used to donate some to charity, but because of what I've said about clothes recycling, I prefer giving them to clothes swaps if they're in good enough condition. So that, you know, I kind of see who takes them. And I have found that pretty much everything I bring to a clothes swap goes. And also I'm working on slow decluttering my makeup, so I follow quite a lot of project planners and people who are doing makeup no-buys or have a makeup budget. And, you know, I found that really helpful for inspiration for decreasing my makeup collection. Again, I didn't want to do a big declutter like a lot of people do. A, because of the waste, and B, because I actually like all of the makeup I own. You know, I already moved on all of the stuff I didn't like years ago. I gave it away to my sister. I gave it away to friends. I don't have, yeah. yeah, I gave quite a lot of free to friends actually. And I don't have stuff anymore that I don't like. So it's all stuff I liked that I've chosen for myself, but there's just too much of it. It takes up 3 drawers. I don't need makeup to take up 3 drawers, and that's not even talking about nail varnish, which takes up a whole drawer on its own. So I'm in the process of using it up, essentially. I am trying to use it up. I don't buy any more. I am just trying to use up what I've already got. And I do this pretty much by doing projects. I don't do what quite a lot of project panners do, which is called Project 10 Pan. I've tried that before, but it doesn't work for me. It's kind of too many projects. My brain gets distracted. Now my brain, I really like projects. I like short-term projects, and I like themes. So the way I found it to work with makeup is that I pick makeup I want to work on using up based on like a seasonal theme. So about every 2 months I pick a new theme and I work on particular projects during that time. If I use them up during that time, that's great, they're gone, I've used them up. If they don't, I kind of roll them over till the same time next year. So in June and July, because no, wait, I lie. It's July, August. So July, August, because of summer months, I wear gold eyeshadow. This is actually a different one, not my current, like, everyday one. And I finished using up an eyeshadow that I've been working on last summer. And so that's gone now. And I started on a different kind of goldish peach eyeshadow for my everyday. And then I have some, you know, other stuff I'll wear. I won't just literally just wear this one eyeshadow every single day, but I do wear it every day for work, and so that's helped me get quite a good dent in it. And I know that, you know, within a couple of years of using this one product for a couple of months, I'll have used it up. And it's the same with lipstick, it's the same with blush, it's the same with anything like that. And I have used up so many eyeshadows at this point. I've been really dedicated and just using that product consistently. And I like this project because it's only 2 months, I'm not going to get bored of it. Like, if I was like, yeah, I'm going to use this one eyeshadow just until I use it up, I would be bored. So how does this translate into my new book projects? So if you've been watching my monthly wrap-up, you'll have seen that over the last couple of months I was doing basically what I would now retrospectively term my YALC project. So before the Young Adult Literature Convention in London, I went through all my bookshelves. I picked up every book I owned by an author. I actually forgot one, I realised the other day. But almost every book I owned by an author who was going to be at YALC, and made a big pile of them, and then just read my way through that pile dedicatedly. I only have 1 book left that I'm nearly done with. I'm more than halfway through, and then I will have done the YALC project. And so I decided that because that was such a success, and I found it really easy to stick to because of the theme, there was something uniting all these books together. It was interesting to think about the contrast between them, to read books by the same author at different stages in their career. And yeah, all of that kind of good intellectual stuff. And I had a lot of fun with it, and there was this kind of end date in mind. It was tied to an event. It was seasonal, like with the makeup. It was tied to an event, and so I was like, I am going to get this done before this event, or at least, you know, by the end of July, if I don't get it all done by the event. And so it was exciting to sit in talks and panels and hear authors who I had just recently read books by. You know, that's really fun. Or I was part way through reading books by. It added something to it, and that was really nice. So I decided that as summer is my favourite season, now my flat is too sweaty and hot for me right now. So, you know, at times it's been quite difficult to remember that summer is my favourite season, but generally summer's my favourite season. I love this stuff. It's warm, I'm not cold, I hate being cold, so it's brilliant. Yeah, I decided I want to make the most of it and read books that are set during summer. And so I have attempted to do this before, but not in such a dedicated way, not with having recent success with the YALC project behind me, because success leads to more success. It's like, you know, you've achieved the thing, and so it makes you feel like, yeah, I could do the other things. So yeah, I keep saying so, yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, I decided to do a summer project. So I went through all of these shelves, and when I was at my parents' house, I went through my shelves there, and I pulled out every book that I could tell from the title or the blurb, or on a couple of occasions checking on Goodreads because I got the feeling that it was set during summer, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, every every book that's set during the summer. So some are in the title, some are in the blurb, or in a couple of occasions in the Goodreads description. And it's a pretty big pile, I can tell you that, but I'm excited. I'm excited. Here we go. This is, I think, 16 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13? Anyway, so these are, this is every single book I own that is set during the summer. And I am excited to get into it. So, I think I'm going to run through it really quickly now so you can see what all the titles are. I have kind of put this in a vague sort of order of what I want to read when. So the first book is Rules of Summer by Joanna Philbin. This was sent to me by the publisher Atom a couple of years ago, and I think a couple of friends said it was good, so that's good. Then we have Second Chance Summer by Matson. I wanted to read this first because it mentions a beach, and I kind of want to read a book with a beach in it. I have 2 other books by Matson set during the summer on my TBR, but I decided to go for this one first. Next up is The Summer I Turned Pretty by Julianne. I recently-ish read the To All the Boys I Loved Before. I listened to it on audiobook and then I watched the film, and I really, really enjoyed it. I really want to read the sequel, but the library hasn't got it yet, so fingers crossed. They will get it soon so I can finish it. I really want to listen to the audiobook because I enjoyed the audiobook so much. Anyway, got this in paperback. Thought I'll give it a go. Also got the other 2 in the series, so I've sort of spread them out around my TBR so I don't kind of read too much at once of the same thing and get bored. Then I have this book called Goodbye Johnny Thunders, which is an adult novel, but it's still about kind of being young and a girl, and it's set in it's set in London, which will be fun. I think I bought this in a charity shop. I think I bought this in the charity shop I used to work in, actually, but it sounded interesting. Then I have The Truth About Forever by Sarah Dessen. I've got loads of Sarah Dessen books on my TBR, and I had to go on Goodreads and find out if I had any set during the summer. So yeah, this one. Then I have the Vegan Virgin Valentine by Carolyn Mackler. I read a Carolyn Mackler book years ago. But yeah, I think this is set during the summer because it mentions kind of remaining months in a location and then going to university. So yeah. Then I have another Matson. This is Amy and Roger's Epic Detour. I left this till later on because it's a road trip novel, which I kind of for some reason associate more with September. But who knows. Then I have the second, It's on Summer Without You. I think this is the second because it only has the first one on the back. Then I have Undeniable by Liz Banks, which I bought at the Big Green Bookshop second hand because Non Pratt said it was good. She was there and I was like, I don't know what to buy. I think I was buying something else and I wanted a third because it was like 3 for 2 or something. And yeah, she was like, read this, and shoved it at me. So I will. Then I have Are We There Yet by David Levithan, library sale edition. Woo, shiny cover. Yeah, this is a trip to Italy. So I thought, yeah, if it's not actually in summer, then it's related. It's a trip to Italy. And I'm going to Italy. I love Italy, so woo. Then I have, yes, I'm aware, by the way, of the issues of flying. I have very complicated opinions on holidays and flying, which are very much tied into wanting to spend as much time with my parents as possible because they're getting older and older. So I'd rather not discuss it in the comments, okay? I try to not fly for my own holidays. I try to stay in the UK. But yeah, anyway, anyway, enough of that. The next one is My Summer of Love by Helen Cross, which I think I got at a book swap. It's set in 1984, follows a 15-year-old, but it's literary fiction, so this will be interesting. It's not published as YA, as far as I can tell. But it's got a lot of... Maybe it is YA. Maybe it's just old. 2001, so it may have been YA. It's published by Bloomsbury. It's unclear. Anyway, next up I have the last Matson, The Unexpected Everything. Got some cute dogs on the cover. Excited to read this. And then finally, the last in that Jenny Harn series. So, yeah, that is the full range. Let me confirm how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 13. Oh, Oh, there was one more. I just realised I forgot one. Here we go, last and not in any way least, The Summer of Impossible Things by Rowan Coleman, which I got at Lush Book Club sometime last year, I think it was. And I actually found this on audiobook at the library because it's such a massive hardback. And so yeah, do I have any of the others? I don't think any of the others actually are on audiobook at the library. So at the same time I'm reading those, I will continue to read other audiobooks. So yeah, that's my TBR for my summer project. So my goal with this is to try and read all of these by the start of October, because in October I will want to probably be sick of it by then. I want to start a new theme. I don't know how this is going to go. I think this is going to be interesting because in an ideal world I would obviously read all of these, but 14 books, forgetting this again, is quite a lot. And I understand this. I have been reading a lot. I do have quite a lot of annual leave booked, but I do want to work on my novel and my short story collection and lots of other stuff. I find that, however, reading fuels my writing. The more I read, the more I write, and the more I want to write and the more I want to read. It's like the two things just go together and feed on each other, and it fills you with enthusiasm for all things word related. So yeah, that's the plan. Try and read these, have a lot of fun, see where I am, probably at the start of September. I will probably do a check-in specifically on this project and my feelings about it and whether I'm sick of reading books set in summer yet. I hope that I won't be, because I like reading books set in the season, because it kind of makes me feel like I'm getting the most out of the season because my head is in the season, if that makes sense. But who knows? I may get very, very bored. We'll see. This means that I probably am not going to be doing short book September, because I did short book September for the last couple of years. Last year was actually a bit of a fail, to be honest, with short book September. It just didn't really end up happening. I think I only read a couple of books. So I think I'm going to leave short book September to rest for a while now. But yeah. Definitely in September, what I will want to do is start thinking about other themes, and I may be asking you guys to help me with any theme suggestions. I mean, if you have theme suggestions right now, let me know. I have a pretty broad selection of books, so just try me. Pretty much anything that you think would make a good theme. I like stuff that is seasonal or like one word, so like, and not genre based, because I think if it's genre-based and it's just like, oh, I'm going to read all my romance books, that's going to take a long time for me to find every book that's a romance. Or I'm going to read all my sci-fi books. A, that's not going to be that many. And B, again, there's nothing really uniting them other than genre. I want something other than genre to unite them. So if you think of any good words, let me know. I would love to know. Like, maybe travel would be a good one. If I read all my books which featured like road trips or trips abroad. I mean, that's probably a bit too close for summer for this point in time, but in the future I could do something like that. Or I don't know, art or something, who knows. Let me know if you do have any suggestions, but I will do another call out around the time of thinking about my next theme, and I will keep you updated with how it goes. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more from me and keep up on what's happening with the bigger Julianne versus TBR production and the summer project. You'll see me again soon. I'm going to do a video next on the books that I have acquired during the month of July, which is not something I've ever done before, but I want to keep myself honest. I want to kind of, yes, a lot of the time what I do when I get new books is to sort of hide them. I shelve them on a pile and pretend like it hasn't happened, that I haven't brought more into my life. And so I want to go through them, explain why I picked them up, because I think that will be quite interesting, because I am being more thoughtful. I have resisted on multiple occasions lately picking up new books that I could have picked up because they're books I wanted to read, or books I've already enjoyed but didn't own my own copy of. You know, things like that, where I read the book from the library, or, you know. I have resisted. I have been strong. I've been very, very good. However, I still have acquired some more. So I think it'll be interesting to talk through that. So I hope you like watching that too. Thank you again for watching. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to promote my e-course. If you would like to read more books too, and you don't know where to start, I have a free e-course all about that. You can also send the link to your friends if you want to get your friends into reading. I know lots of people when they become adults, they find it really difficult to recapture that love of reading. And what I found, the great thing about having these courses, I get to hear from people about how they've rediscovered that love of reading, how my courses helped them, and yeah, it's really, really brilliant. I get lovely, lovely messages from my students, lovely reviews. Yeah. Anyway, check that out in my description if you're interested. Bye!